Hey, this is not a tutorial. This is just going to be commentary on this. But anyway, I'm just carving out some basic shapes here and not really feeling very confident in how this is going to turn out. So right here, I'm kind of fighting through the thought of just starting over or coming back to this later. But I get through that, and then this model ends up being okay. So I think the biggest takeaway, if you're going to have one from this video, is just have a little confidence and keep at what you're doing, because I really did not like how this started out at all. Here I'm trying to create a very strong brow, but the nose also needs to be very square, kind of stand out. I actually made this the head for this character previously, but then I don't know what happened, but the file was corrupted and I didn't have a backup. So this is actually the second attempt, and I recorded some of the first attempt, but this ends up being a little closer to the design that I wanted anyway. So although I used that side profile image, I ended up changing the jaw to be a little more specific to like this sketch that I did. And since I'm not feeling that confidence, I stop modeling and I start with some early texture work. So I'm creating these shadow areas. Things are starting to come together a little bit, but here, after changing the brush settings, I get the eyes in place. And once these eyes are in place, it's building my confidence in this model. And then the mustache comes along, and that's when I know this is actually gonna look all right. Yeah, you gotta fight through some of those moments where you're unsure. And here I'm just carving out the kind of shapes to create more of an illusion that there's more geometry. And then I'm redoing the side here, and I've used the old side texture to just use that as a block of color. And I'm just using the mouse here. There's no need to get like fancy. instead of modeling the ears in, I just thought it would be much faster to make a separate ear. And then I did a cube unwrap here, which worked out pretty well. It works out when you're using boxier models. The normals needed to be flipped there because basically everything was inside out from something I did previously. So I just used the search to find recalculate outside, which flips the faces to be facing out. I'm putting all this work into the face because the face is pretty important, and I'm actually going to lose all of this progress because my computer crashed, and when it crashed, I had saved the model, but I had not saved the image texture because you need to save images separately. But all hope is not lost. So what I did was I took a video, because the video you've just been watching, and I found a snippet here where you can see the texture, and I saved that frame from the video, grab the image, and this isn't going to be to scale, so this is going to be either zoomed in or zoomed out a little bit. And so I scale it to what I know the texture would be and make sure it's the same size. And so the positioning of everything should be the same. Go back in here after the crash and replace that image with the external image, and it looks kind of blurry and like it's been resized. Actually doesn't look that bad. Looks kind of like this was intended almost, but I wanted kind of a crispier pixel art look, and I try to kind of fix it up here, but then I decide to just continue with other stuff and come back to this later. Continuing on, I'm just kind of okay with that for now. Glad I don't have to start over completely. Maybe it would have been faster, but everything was in the place that I liked it, and so I would have just been trying to replicate that. So using a cylinder for the body. Cube would have worked too because he's very boxy anyway. A cube could work too, it's just cylinder felt right. And he's got this kind of strange, like, barrel-chested kind of design. and get these enormous yet noodly arms in there. Jumping from the pelvis to hands, because just wanted to get the hands over with. And instead of doing closed fisted design, which is normally what I do, I decided to add fingers. I'll come back later and actually add individual fingers. And then in the rig, I actually didn't make it so you could move all the fingers at once, just a few of them. Or you can't move them individually. And the neck was kind of difficult, actually. The back of the head could have probably used a bit of a reshaping. Get the leg, super simple leg. I decided to use one mesh for each leg instead of individual like segments. And then I'm being lazy, reusing the leg for the foot. And the foot, honestly, is a little too small, probably. I might go back and change that a little bit more. So tweaking things. And the reason I kind of made that pointed bit in the neck is so that as you rotate the head, that neck underneath won't look so weird if you can just see a flat shape. It's the same thing with the arms. I add kind of a pointed bit later on. So this is a trick to kind of to build up more of that, confidence in this process. I projected the image that I have as a reference onto my geometry, and this allows me to preview what the model is going to look like when it's textured up. And I mean, things look decent. Somehow I messed up the neck there, so I just delete that and then apply a mirror. So just adjusting everything some more. The arms are way too long. Still too long. Still kind of too big too, like, honestly. So then create that kind of dome shape again so that when the arms are rotated, it doesn't look like a box. Then there's a long pause here for some reason. Save often, back up. All right, so now I'm making those individual fingers. Now I could have just modeled the fingers, but I made them separate. Hopefully people won't even look at the fingers. They'll be more looking at the face. now I'm separating the arms because I decided to go that direction. Honestly, probably shouldn't have, because it looks a little strange, and I might go back before I start animating him and just merge those two pieces together. So with these low poly models, and we're trying to imitate a style, there's no real rule saying you can't mix like segmented parts and non-segmented parts. And in fact, I mean, you can see tons of examples in PlayStation games of a mixture. Usually in the later entries to the PlayStation, you can see more mesh-based models instead of segments. I mean, I guess they still have meshes, but like the mesh for the leg is, continuous instead of chunks of, lower leg, thigh. I think Mega Man Legends is a good example because it looks like there's a lot of just segments everywhere, but if you look at a lot of things, it's a mixture. Adding some edge loops to get ready for texturing. Adding a knee here. And of course the hat. And my original thought with the hat was I will kind of just rotate it, but then it felt wrong to do that. So yeah, because I wanted the point to be back, going backwards. So just twisted it with proportional editing. Get a little preview here. Looks like a hat. And honestly, for some things, like if this was like a background character, like that you never get close to, this model could work as is. For an animated project, not for a game though, because you'd want to have very specific texture setup, just for efficiency's sake. So yeah, I'm just doing 2 fingers for the hand. 1 bone will move 2 fingers, the pinky and the not pinky, the true middle finger, because he's got 3 fingers. And then the other bone will move the index. And here I applied armature deform, and then I am going through and removing the influence of these other bones that I don't want influencing some of these meshes. I could have just gone through and manually painted, manually assigned these weights to the mesh, but I was feeling lazy. So sometimes when you're lazy, you pay the price, and I've got to go through and remove all these references to the bones. So like I only need the head there. I only need Well, I need the neck and the torso for the neck, but so the neck doesn't just move. It would look weird if it just rotated. Then I forgot to connect some of these, so I'm connecting them and just kind of testing things out. It makes more sense for the arms to rotate up a little bit, at least during like animation. So I'm like kind of moving them around, and it's like, okay, that kind of works. More adjustments. And then finishing up the cuts for the texturing. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to make it so the face texture is all in one image and the body's in another. So I can do expressions, and here's just kind of me messing around with an alternate expression here. Around, and now we can see how things look here. doing more adjustments, and then I'm going through and manually placing all of these. I usually am not trying to conserve too much of the space. I'm usually not putting that much time into arranging the textures. So there's a lot of places like in the fingers and stuff where there's just going to be solid colors, and I put way more effort into this than I should have, trying to find a place for all of these individual pieces, but that's all right. applying some solid colors to the entire model. And then adding some shading, just selecting the sides of things and under things, adding a darker color. So I'm coming in to fix the texture here a little bit. And I probably could have just gone and painted over it in Blender again, and it might have been faster. But here we are. And then I forgot to save some of my changes for shading. I had to go back and do it again. Here's a little skull pendant. And now it's just a matter of adding some final details. And then I've got to make some facial expressions. So yeah, that's the making of Dr. Robert Necromancer, the low poly model version. Thanks for hanging in there, and I'll have another video soon making another character.